Alright, so we're going to be picking up with some 2-Point Museum. It's been a little while since we played. They did have an update that there's the Digiverse thing in the game for like another place to go get your exhibits. They also had a major quality of life updated so you could tell it to keep repeating stuff so you didn't have to like manually choose the things again and again. Or if they didn't have it, they were going to get it soon. But yeah, this is a 2-Point Museum. For those who haven't seen, it is a museum tycoon game by the devs of 2-Point. You know, campus and hospital and all that. So it's very kind of silly stuff, not a serious take on any of it. So we're going to be continuing that. We do have all things. Yes, it's trying to... Oh, that's weird. I was seeing real fast if it mentioned the Digiverse. Explorer Edition. Oh, I don't care about that. Alright, so let's go, and I believe we want to continue the campaign. Because I want to say this was things that they just added more onto the existing game. But yeah, no, I think it's a good idea with Factorio that they do like their one last major update. Oh, okay, so it's not mouse and keyboard here. Alright, so we do have, that's already done. I'm just checking on what we got. Pointy Mountain. That one, the stars are all grayed. We might go with a sandbox. Let's see what happens when you go to this thing. Because this is the fantasy one. That's what I'm not remembering is how some of this works with the new stuff. Let's just go to this one, see what we got going on. If it looks like I'm gonna be really confused, we can just go into a sandbox or something like that just to get it going. Because it's been a hot minute since I played. But it's on the impression, all this stuff, like the Angry Birds and all that stuff, you add on to an existing save kind of thing. Okay, so this looks like we had just started this museum pretty early on. Yeah, because all this stuff is inaccessible and all that. And I've got those two things. And so all I have here is a couple of ticket booths, a few very, very basic exhibits, a thing for researching, a cafeteria, a gift shop, and a bathroom. And then the place to construct stuff. So it actually looks like this won't be too bad for one to jump in, where it's a very early thing in the museum. And we do have the exhibits here. But the big question I have is, if we look at you and start an expedition, the way this game works for getting your exhibits is you send people out to this stuff. They go and, you know, find stuff and then they come back. And you got different ones. So you got like this fantasy one. And there's all these different museums going. And this is like all the different like DLC and different locations and all that. But ultimately the gameplay loop is you send out your employees to go out there, bring back an artifact, you display it, you work on getting your place better, there's a cost to sending people out, and all that kind of stuff. So I think what we're going to do is the Digiverse is supposedly where the new stuff is. So we need to get a digital expert to get that going. We also had the fantasy stuff we never did continue on. So let's see if we look at our employees. Oh, let's also go to settings real fast. If we look at the Twitch integration, I just want to see if I could turn off the oh, there we go. I want to see if you can join to be an employee. Oh no, it wants me to like install an extension and all that. Never mind. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. I'm not installing an extension midstream and all that. Alright, so what I think we want to do is we want to find a staff member. So we're looking for someone who could do digital stuff.
For everyone asking, toilets are located in the bathroom. You're welcome.
So we can start trying to get a digital person. In the meantime, we do have these exhibits here. But yeah, so as you can see, we have a handful of these. These are fantasy things. So we can keep that stuff going while we're playing to keep all that stuff going. So let's see. the thing we'd want to do is, since this is the fantasy place, so that expedition would cost us 10,000. That one would cost us 10,000. Right. Hey, Psychotic, how's it going? Yeah, so we got everything there maxed and pristine. We could definitely get that to have a higher quality one. Yeah, so it looks like on this one I was just grinding it to get those pristine. Yeah, so it looks like I'm gonna need to make 10,000 bucks.
Attention in the museum before going to a hospital.
Yeah, so this is an early game on this museum, so it'll take a hot minute to get a little bit of money going. We'll try and get all that stuff set up. So interestingly enough, they didn't give us a whole new museum. They're just like, hey man, you already got your museum, just add to it. I'm glad I had this one that's early on. Because the other thing I'd do is potentially be like, hey, can you reset this museum? Yeah, so basically the way this works is you get your exhibits that you send your people out to get them. They bring an exhibit, they bring it back, and you can put it on display or you can sell it. Usually if you sell it, a lot of times you're not going to make much money because you're just kind of getting rid of it. But once you put it on display, what ends up happening is you have these collection bins, and if people like what they see, they'll drop some money in the collection bin, and then occasionally your security guards go out and they empty the bin, and that's where your main income comes from. There are other ways you can make a little bit of money here and there, but that's the bulk of it. You also have your gift shops and your restaurant or your cafe and all that. You can make a little bit of money from there. Yeah, so let everything go a little bit fast. Okay, so it looks like Brandy leveled up. I'll need to just... I think there's a button to make it with that, so I want you to get training. I think there's a button under staff here somewhere that you're able to just go pay review, and there was a satisfy all pay demands.
Worked in the ticket booth. Sadly, I can't.
Those things walk weird? They're Yetis. You don't need to be mean about it. Okay. So the culture department wants to collaborate with the museum. They'll give us a bunch of money if we put this thing on a display and enough people see it. And they will charge us a whole bunch of money if it gets stolen. Because in this game, you can have your exhibits get destroyed, stolen, stuff like that. Okay, so you want a little bit more decoration nearby.
The museum has a tour stand, but no tours. Why is that?
Okay, so we got those built. Okay. Right, so this is, so you have your people who take care of your museum. The gimmick of this map is there's their fantasy DLC. So it's basically people for like Dungeons and Dragons RPG kind of thing, which is pretty fun. So what I wanted to do is actually check. Did you go through, so we got, oh, you cost 10,000? You suck, man. But yeah, so we want to get the digital expert so we can start doing that. But in the meantime, we could just keep working and getting more artifacts in general. They also have a thing that when you put a display out here, there will be bonuses here that if you meet them all, people are willing to tip, or not tip, donate more. Okay. But you do have criminals that'll actually come into your place and steal your exhibits and all that. If you don't catch them, then you lose the exhibit. What's your deal? Let's see. So I made 9,800. And then we spent about 9,000 something on staff. So we did make a profit about 1,800. We're not making a lot of money on this one yet. But this is early on, and like most Tycoon games, it can kind of snowball where you get your first thing, and with that you get a little bit more money, and then you get the next thing, and you get a little bit more money, and you kind of keep scaling it up until you're making a lot of money. Alright. And I usually always try and stay on top of the training because it ends up being very important later.
Harrison Wolf on 2 Point Radio. This is Harrison Wolf. It's wild to think that in times gone goodbye, I'd do a show, the broadcast would end, and it would be gone. Nowadays, my voice is showing up in all sorts of places, at all sorts of times. Kinda trippy. But I hope you're having a good day, wherever and whenever you are.
Alright.
Announcement. Staff training complete.
Yep, so we're still making about 1,900 a day. It does suck a little bit that we're making that little extra money. But what we're just going to need to do is, once we get that sorted, we'll need to send someone out to get the next exhibit. And thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so I think the exhibit we're going to go for is, that's a point of interest obstruction. Yeah, I've already got those to pristine. Okay, there's a dragon there, but if I don't cover absolutely everything, people die. You've already maxed that out. You're pretty close to maxed out. Yeah, so either way we want to go, those ones I have to do stuff. I'm limited. Interesting. Oh, it's a bunch of cosmetics. Weird.
Needed in cafe. The guests are hungry.
Alright, so we're just going to try and get that 10,000. And we can get that real fast. We'll clear an obstruction. Then we'll end up going, kind of bouncing from going under our money and back and forth. Oh wait, that was right. You can do brand deals and all that. Yeah, there we go. So we have the Cheesy Gubbins plush. We have the Mulberry Festival sign. So I actually already have my brand deals. So basically I'm getting money for having this poster here. Yeah, we're kind of selling out a little bit.
Announcement. Staff member promoted. What a great place to work.
We made $10 that last quarter. Not exactly rolling in the dough. Now, it's a little tricky sometimes because it can sometimes depend on when you emptied your donation bins. That, like, if you haven't emptied your donation bins when it does its update, it's like, oh no, you didn't make any money. And then the next one will be like, oh my god, you made so much money because you happened to empty like $8,000 or $9,000 worth of donations all at the same time. We're getting pretty close to our 10,000 though, so we should be relatively okay. Okay, so with that, we're over 10,000. So can I do this one? So what ends up happening from here is we need to have 10 luck, or someone gets sick. We need 20 strength, or they steal some of our money. And if we have 15 brains, we get extra stuff. So I can hit the autofill to start. We don't have someone who's smart enough to satisfy that, but we do have enough to prevent those. No, actually, I take that back. We do have enough for everything. So I can choose a cargo. Now, that does mean I could just grab the thing that gives me extra XP, so our people level up faster, because you need that to do these things. So I can start that expedition.
Staff in need of medical attention. Thank you.
Feeling dead arm. Had a painful blow. You're running out of money. You might need to take a loan or sell something to cut costs. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Yeah, and if we're in bad shape, we can actually get a deal that will help get more money. So weirdly, it can be a strategy early on to financially ruin yourself to get all your stuff and all that. So he still technically made $3,000.
Museum staff promoted. Aren't you capable?
All right. So we have unlocked a new area. Okay. So with that, we have multiple things here to acquire. So this cost me $12,500 to do that one. If we were to autofill that, I wouldn't remotely have enough to do this one. So we could go in here, and that would satisfy the brain side of things. Yeah, so get all but this one done. Now you can reduce the cost to 10,000. Okay. That means we need another 10,000 for that one.
Announcement. New map location.
Oh, they did give us a reward. Is it just XP? Yep. Now, for the record, this is not a gacha game. This is not, you know, some get your MTX, roll your dice, or anything like that. They do have it loot box animation style, but it's basically you send them on their expeditions, and when you go to these spots, it'll be like, okay, you can get these two things. Like right now with a new place, I don't know what they are, and it basically means I'm going to get one of those two things, and you just try and get better versions of them. But it is a progression thing where you can get like the crappy version you can put on display and then try a couple times. It's not fully deterministic, but you can, if we also check on the star stuff here, you see this says it's level 3, and it means I can get a pristine one relatively easy there. Versus if we go to the new one we've got, it says I've not explored it all. I'm most likely going to only get a great result. So basically, you can't fully establish it, but you can, as you do it more and more, you tip the scale more and more in your favor. So it's kind of like a weighted RNG that's not fully random. You can kind of nudge it.
Thieves have been prevented from escaping. Phew.
I didn't see. Yep. So we had someone here who tried to steal something, and our security guard caught him. Which it's fun because the security guards, they have their pepper spray. It's just a big pepper shaker, so they just get like the big pepper shaker. They kind of screw the back out of them threateningly. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. That's just the nature of the humor here. So bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to grab myself a drink while we're waiting for this mine to roll in, and I'll be right back.
Congratulations to our newly promoted staff member. Now, get back to work.
Okay. The puns are a big part of why I like these games. Oh yeah, no, the 2 Point series is really, really good with their humor. Like, 2 Point Hospital, the idea is when you're playing the game, you know, your character will, like, not your character, you'll have a person come into your hospital, a patient, and they will be lightheaded. And lightheaded in this game is their head is a light bulb. So the way you heal them is you unscrew their light bulb head and you put it aside and you put a regular head on. It's that kind of thing.
Is this the end? Will it be just like that Roderick Cushion film? Don't worry, people. Serious crackpots, such as myself, are on the case.
Okay, so we did lose a little bit of money. Loans? You're telling me I have a loan? What? Never take loans. Oh. I have a loan. That's why our money is struggling. Okay. I see. Right, so that's the reason why we're struggling money-wise. Oh, that's right. I think this one they like started you with literally no money. And so it's basically trying to claw your way out of the out of debt. Yeah, which that's 1%. If we can get like 15,000 here, I could take the other loan, pay off the bigger loan, to take us from 3% to 1% and effectively the same debt, which should reduce my payment. Because that's going to be the first part, is get ourselves out of debt. Because having to pay stupid loans all the time is really annoying. Because, yeah, you're making me pay $4,400 per month. If we go over here and we get that one paid, we can drop it down to about $3,000. Yeah, so we made a profit of about $6,000. That last one. Okay. And we got 15,000 reward. So let's go in here real fast. And like I said, we're going to go and pop in here and say, take this loan, repay that loan. Cool. So we've cut down our loan payment by about $1,600 a month. And we can immediately turn around here and start the expedition. Oh, I don't know what that diamond symbol means. Ah, so that's going to give a spot that gets staff XP. So let's start here, do this, autofill. So we're going to want to switch this up a little bit. So instead of that, you go up here. All right. So it looks like we'll satisfy all of those things with this group. Now, I'm going to use the haggling instead of the XP. So by doing the haggling, what'll end up happening here is I'll reduce the price by 2,500 to send them on their way. I'm also going to tell them to do a detailed exploration. And what the detailed exploration does, as I mentioned earlier, when you click on this, they'll say like, hey, it's 0% explored. You're only probably going to get a great or worse, you know, artifact or whatever. Doing a detailed one makes it take a little bit longer for them to get back, but it massively boosts like how much that explored goes up. So it's especially good early on to like go a couple rounds of like exploring it, you know, more and more until you get it to the point where you can get like, you know, epic or pristine. And pristine's the roof. Once you hit a pristine and you get a pristine version of the artifact, you're good. You don't have a reason to go back for more. Did I get pristine ones? So you are pristine, 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 epic, pristine, pristine, pristine. Yeah, so it looks like the bolt. Oh, right. I forgot with the fantasy DLC thing.
You're now a little better. Not much, but still.
That with the fantasy one, they gave it so you could get equipment, all that. And we're actually looking to do the Digiverse stuff because that's the new thing. It's just this museum is early on and struggling a little bit, so I'm kind of stuck just dealing with that whole bit real quick. So we need to keep dealing with their pay or they'll quit and then we lose all that training.
Attention. The expedition team have returned.
Okay, so we got our first expedition reward from here. Okay, so we got an epic quality devilish door. And anyone who sees it gets an extra knowledge, which is just a stat that they like. Okay. Near a blacksmith column decoration. Okay, so it wants me to add a decoration nearby. If I can remember where that is.
this again.
Why do I constantly have people with dead arm? Okay, now let's quickly look at this. So we got the digital expert. We're going to hire them. Intriguing. Unlocking that point of interest has opened up new rifts in the Digiverse. This place doesn't conform to the laws and rules or TNCs of our universe, which is fun and also extremely dangerous. Anywho, you discovered a new kind of workshop project on your travels. Claim your power-up recipe in the top right of your Digiverse map. The digital danger is already paying dividends. Training power-up. You may discover power-ups through your adventures in the Digiverse. Power-ups are powerful consumable items that can be used to enhance your museums. Craft power-ups in the workshop with a digital expert qualified in Button Master. Place down power-ups from your inventory to produce short-term boosts to your museum. Let's see. Yep, so it's telling us all these things. Cool. So we'd start an expedition. Okay. So you want me to have whatever that skill is. So let's look at our new staff member.
Has to be a party, okay?
And he wants training. Yeah, so we need Button Master. So we can let that training happen, and we'll start doing the Digiverse stuff as well. Now, obviously, that means I'm gonna have a weird museum where I got all these, like, these artifacts going on from, like, Fantasy World, and then we're gonna have Digiverse stuff. But that's easy enough to deal with. We'll just expand the museum, and, like, this wing will be all the Digiverse stuff and all that. Alright, Luxra, you take it easy. Thank you for tuning in, hanging out, stuff.
Is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. But did you really expect different results? Stay safe. Stay sane. Stay the course. Vote Winsock. Some things never change.
Okay.
Thieves were caught before they could escape with an exhibit. That was a close one.
I don't actually see the thieves that got caught, but I believe you. Alright. So we're just waiting for a little bit of money to come in. And then we'll send this person off to get our first Digiverse stuff. Alright, let's start the expedition. So we're going to start up an expedition, autofill it. That person has button mashers, so they won't die, because that's what MAI means. If we got the cleaning thing, we'd get a better quality exhibit. We don't have it. If we use the XP journal, it'll also give me a lot of XP. And we'll go ahead and do the detailed search and let him go.
To our team departing on an expedition, I'm sure you'll need it.
Okay. So we'll do a little bit of splitting the group between getting the fantasy stuff and getting the Digiverse stuff. But yeah, the Digiverse stuff is a lot of collabs between the devs of this and other games. Like I said, the new one is apparently Angry Birds, so I guess we're going to put Angry Birds exhibits in here, which is a little weird. I can't remember. Was Dave the Diver one of the ones they did? That's actually one of the things. I never got into the Digiverse stuff. But it's a bunch of like collabs with other indie games and whatnot that you can get exhibits related to whomever's they're working with. Okay, so he apparently made 6,500 in profit. And you are slowly paying down that loan.
Let it go to your head.
All right. And so we just have to wait for it to get back. We got another staff that's got training. And so right now I'm just having them train to advance their skills they were already doing. All right. A meaty sword. This most savory sword of the realm of Wansia, or whatever it is, increases guest entertainment. So let's go ahead and place the exhibit. I'm sure that's a reference to something I don't know.
Attention. Guests feeling bored are reminded that they're not all that.
I really don't have much for digital decoration, so I'll go and put that. One thing that will probably need to happen is I probably will want to add a place to collect stuff here. Picnic bench. Oh, there's a hot dog kiosk and all that now? Interesting. Outhouse keep. Oh, right! The last update, they had a bunch of outdoor stuff, because they didn't really have much outdoor stuff before. Those are heaters and all that. We're not worried about that. What I actually want to do...
Promoted. Aren't you capable?
The large donation bin nearby that. Okay. Adventures into the Digiverse will require a variety of different expertise. Expeditions to meet Wizard 2 seem to require fantasy expert. In the digital world, they call that a tutorial. Okay, so you have more stuff we can get from you. So before we move on to the next place, we continue the work on this one. Okay, so I'll need 10,000. Yeah, so before we move on to the next one, we'll get that. You're fine. We lost a little bit of money, but that's okay. Because then I have the chance of either getting a better version of the thing I already have, or I can get the other thing that's available. Because it does tell me that there's 2 different artifacts we can get from that location, and now it's just a matter of going, okay, well, we want to get all of them, and ideally we get a better version of some of them as well. Now, granted, we got Epic, which is the second best, so we're not particularly unhappy. Eventually, you do want everything to be pristine, but it is just a thing that takes work. Okay. So guest happiness could certainly be okay. They're complimenting the decorations and all that.
Prepared for certain levels of monotony, but they're not prepared for this.
Alright, so we can go here, start expedition, and set that up again since we have all that. We want to keep our person leveling. And if we do run to a situation where I've got enough money coming in, I'll have 1 helicopter going to Digiverse and 1 doing the fantasy stuff. We'll just keep ping-ponging back and forth. It does sound like the Digiverse is kind of your end game. You need people to be able to do everything, which should be an interesting challenge for a fresh museum that only has 1 set of expertise. Because then if, say, like, I need a botanist, well, to justify the botanist, I will need to go off and get botany exhibits for them to do something while they're here. Otherwise, they'll stand around with nothing to do all day, and I'll be paying their salary, which does add up quite a bit if you have a bunch of people running around not able to actually work in your museum.
Vandal caught in the act. What a bad guest.
They keep mentioning catching them, and I'm not seeing the security escorting. Oh, there they are.
Harrison Wolf on 2 Point Radio.
Okay. Yep, so we're working on leveling that up. Green Grocer. The meat wizard's nemesis makes it look sleazy being green. Squits and giggles, scary in a good way, entertaining with only a mild impact on toilet comfort.
Welcome to the 2-Point Radio
Okay.
Vault. Today, I'm Harrison Wolf, looking back. A little older, a little wise.
Alright, so that opened up a new spot. So we do have both of those at epic quality. Now, the things we'd be able to choose here is, do I start working on the next one, or do I work on exploring that one again and again to try and get pristine versions? Because another thing you'll end up doing is you'll notice there's this information thing. And the way you get that up is you take duplicates of this and you huck them in the lab where they're destroyed, and it makes this exhibit give more information, which generally helps your guests more.
You're listening to 2-Point Radio. I'm Harrison Wolf. A shadow hangs over today's show. The shadow of a mysterious package that's been sent to me at the station. Could this be the forces at B finally quietening this beacon of outrage? Is what sits before me some kind of biohazardous response to all of my dissent? We'll find out later in the show.
Expedition complete.
Okay.
Fetch the crowbar.
So I want to get another one. So these are kind of interesting in that they're 2D pixel art sitting on those versus like actual like 3D fantasy things. And they have a lot of cool stuff in here. Like they have like zoo exhibits, they have aquariums, they have like paranormal, they've got like technology, they've got your like, you know, typical fossils and all that. So while we're dealing with multiple things here that are kind of satire exhibits of like fantasy world and video games and whatever, they do actually have like none of it's serious, but they do actually have more standard stuff. So let's go ahead and we'll get set up the person to go next one. All right, so we'll remove these events, and it looks like we're actually good on all of those. So go ahead and we'll say, grab you. Oh, you cost a lot. I can bring it down to a price I can afford.
For certain levels of monotony, but they're not
Okay.
prepared for this.
And your guests do have like hunger and thirst and all that if you provide for their
Please
needs,
join me in saying farewell.
then it can help out. I'm trying to remember how to make that disappear. It's fine. Also, before I forget, we probably want to put some informational panels up. Because all that stuff improves the guest experience, having plaques that give information about the attractions. So it's looking like I'm going to need an additional assistant. That I'm looking over our assistant situation. I've got multiple things that need workers,
Tickets
not,
are for sale at the ticket booth, or they
you know,
will
having
be
that.
when someone starts working there.
Okay, so you got Florence here is pretty good. Alright, so let's see. So Macy here is getting another level in Happy Thoughts. We look at our assistants. We've got a pilot. We've got someone who's got customer service, Happy Thoughts. We got 3 people in customer service. You have ticketing. We'll go ahead and work on you starting to... I can't afford it. Starting to train marketing. Well, actually, I can afford it. Yeah. We'll have you start training in marketing. You won't be able to do with that thing yet,
From assistant.
but we'll get that sorted. Okay, what did you get? Raised steak powers up the magical meat wizard until they take a little damage. Increases guest entertainment. Near a broccoli banner. Meat wizard banner. So we're unlocking more decorations and stuff.
Promoted staff member. Now, get back to work.
We need to increase the salaries again. Okay, so little by little, I gotta figure out how I can get that to be hidden. Like, normally there's times I want that information, but just, that's gonna be a bit visually noisy. There we go. Okay. Now goes the loan. We're down to 64,000 because we're paying it down every month. So then it's around 14,000 we could send them on for the another digital artifact. And as you probably know, some of the things will be like, oh, you need a level 10 of this person. If you don't have it, you just send them off to do other things in the while. Meanwhile, they level. Or if you don't have the right person, you go hire someone and start training them up. But that's the reasons why when you're looking at my lists here, you'll notice I do try and have a range of different things there. Because sometimes I'll need things in different categories or whatever. Then kind of go out of my way to make sure I have a very diverse set of skills in my area so that whatever the game says, hey, you need a handyman, it's like, alright, go do that. That said, later on you'll end up in situations where it's kind of hard to get the right combination. So you might end up having to train someone into helping you with a specific thing. But that's usually pretty late. Alright, so that's enough money there. Never mind. We just had to pay our bills. I had enough money, but it's okay.
I saw those spherical bozos from the Orb Foundation selling some kind of beverage the other day. This, like everything involving the Orb Foundation, surely signals disaster. I'm just not sure how yet. Keep your edges, people. You don't want to get smoothed over.
Announcement. Staff in need of medical attention. Thank you.
Why do I always... I'm not sure where we're getting these injuries from. Because they keep getting a thing dead arm. I'm assuming it's one of these has a negative effect where it can cause dead arm. Either way. Alright, so right about to get our monies for the next exhibit push. There we go. Start. So as you can see here, we have another exhibit we don't know yet.
Guests feeling bored are reminded that they're not all that.
Alright. So we can send those two out, and we'll get that unlocked. Pretty soon we're going to start struggling on space with our building, so I'll probably need to expand. And that's kind of one of the things I'm thinking is when we expand, we go out here, that'll probably make like a little bit of a doorway. This will become like the Digiverse room, and this will be the fantasy room. Then we'll like put some more stuff in here to fill that in. Once that's done, then we can expand there. Yep, we run out of money. Don't care. It'll be fine. Or not. Who really knows? Yeah, down to 53,000
You're now
in
a little better.
debt.
Not much, but still.
Yeah, and I forgot this one makes you take a loan.
Vandals caught vandalizing. We stopped them, obviously.
Okay. Digiverse, Digimon brain cell activated. Yeah, well that's the thing, is I don't remember what all they have in the Digiverse. Like it's like I said, I think it's kind of a crossover with like a bunch of other games. So we're getting a bunch of stuff that's Meat Wizard. I'm assuming Meat Wizard is another game. Like another indie game. Alright, so we just hit level 2 there. Okay, so we've got the broccoli. The green grocer's henchmen are nutrient-rich and morally bankrupt. And you are considered amusing, so you give more entertainment.
Staff training complete. Well done, you. Announcement: our health and safety standards.
The representative of the Department of Culture is arriving for your yearly inspection. Cool. Okay, so you want to be near a broccoli banner decoration. Okay. Let's wait a little bit more money, and then we'll send out another expedition. Hi.
Who loves hopping?
Mm.
Who loves wiping?
I love wifey.
I love wiping.
Let you hang in there for a minute. Okay, there's another exhibit that we just got to display and prevent from being stolen for extra money. Oh, like legit crossover? Sorry, hopping in. I believe so. I know there are legit crossovers of the Digiverse thing. Like the new update they had added Angry Birds, which is weird, but okay. And we do have a VIP visiting and all that good stuff, so that's good news. If they have a good time, they'll like review it well or whatever. So we look at our next place. It's 20,000. Do I have people capable of doing it? Glitch, illness. Button mashers needed to deal with this encounter. You need to be a level 2 button masher. I can't help you with that. Alright, so that'll be the first time that we need to kind of loop back, because our button masher person is not leveled up yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this person focus on trying to get pristine quality artifacts and level up a little bit more.
For those who like maps.
So we can send him out to try and get better versions, and then as well as that, when we get extras, we can destroy them for research. So do this, grab the XP book, detailed, and get out of here.
Expedition team are departing now. I'm always so glad that I don't
Where are
have
you
to go.
getting dead arm from? Like, you keep getting it. You're a janitor, so you're cleaning something or whatever, getting dead arm. You're not going on expeditions. You're the janitor. But something is causing you dead arm. Alright, so we've passed our health inspection, so that's good news. We have plenty of guests checking out that exhibit, which is good news. But yeah, so then we've got our objectives here. So like the objectives we have for this one is to make enough money per time, and that'll gradually advance it more and more, and that gives you an overall number of stars.
Promoted. What a
Like right now this is a 0-star place. Make it more. Okay, so you leveled up, so you're gonna get another level in Button Masher or Button Master.
This season, the second Sunday after St. Barbara's Day, in most cooperating cinemas. Roderick Cushion is Lieutenant Nicholas Relics.
Hello? Anybody?
Okay. Okay, so that's a great quality. Hot garbage. Hot, terrible, awful garbage. They should be ashamed of themselves. Let's go ahead and research that. I don't have an expert with analysis, do I? Well, that's a thing. Okay, so we got the inspection. Exceptional. They did ding us for not enough bins, and apparently they give us money for passing the health inspection. So they did say we weren't having enough bins in our place, which is fair because do I even see a bin? Got a bin in there, and that's about it. All right, so let's go quickly get some bins going on.
Let it go to your head.
Where are you? So put a bin over here and a bin over there and see what they think with that. All right. So meanwhile, we did get that level we wanted, so we can pop back over here. Okay, so we can prevent that. If I can get someone smart enough... Gotcha. So this one just causes things to take longer. This one hurts them, and that also gets us a better version of it. Let's go ahead and take this, and just lean into just making a really long expedition.
That not everything has to be a party, okay?
Alright, meanwhile, let's look at our list of people. So, we need someone who has, like, the analytics thing. Or not analytics, the... whatever that's called. Yeah, we can get people of all the different types of museums that we're gonna want to get a bunch of those over time. How goes our loan? We're down to 36,000 remaining on it. That's all satisfied, so we can just go ahead and minimize that out of the way.
Exhibit requires restoration. It really is a shambles.
We're almost to the point of having the finances in better order. Okay, we're over 10,000 again. So let's go ahead and get a second one of these going. So you're going to hop over to the fantasy stuff. So we don't have another smart person. Or, like, not smart, that's not what I need to say. You have your adventures with, like, different skills and all that.
Staff should seek medical attention in the museum before going to a hospital.
Alright. Yeah, so we need an expert for the analysis room, but don't have anyone to do that right now. Was kind of hoping to have that open up. And those are all different types of experts that I would need to send to different areas. Alright, the Salami Sorcerer is protector of the Guansail, sworn to uphold its succulence.
Attention. Guests feeling bored are reminded that they're not all that. Please excuse the exhibit that requires restoration. I'm pretending it's not there.
Near me. Wizard poster.
Announcement. Stolen exhibit has been retrieved from thieves. No one takes our stuff.
Okay, so we got a bunch of that all sorted. So you're 20,000, so we gotta wait a little bit more before I can send on to the next one.
Announcement. Analysis complete. Learn anything good?
Alright, so we gained some knowledge about that, and we also gained a security sticker. So for all these ones that we don't have maxed out, I'll use stuff like the security sticker to just reduce the chance of things getting stolen. Why is my maintenance purse constantly getting hurt? I really don't understand. Okay, so we can go here, start expedition, autofill. We got those two taken care of. So one of the things I can also do, so I'm going to actually go ahead and tell them to bring the smart one. More XP, detailed, it's fine. There is a thing where there's seasons in the game as well, that you can go to some place, like if you go to like the desert area during the summer, some of the things will have a warning where if you don't have certain things, you can get heat stroke. Alright, that's 15,000. Whereas, you know, some of the other areas, like where they're cold and it's winter, you'll get blizzards that, again, like it'll extend how long you get stuck out there doing the expedition. So there's like, you know, some things that kind of pressure you this way and that. Alright, if we save up for just a minute, we can pay off this loan and be utterly debt-free. And then with that, we won't be paying like the 3-ish thousand a month just to get rid of the loan.
Expert required to restore exhibit. You're the expert.
Okay. It's at 25,000. Yeah, so I'm gonna end up needing a second Digi person. Which is fine. Because it'll be that only the digital person can clean this up. You have to have the appropriate person for the appropriate exhibits.
But they're not prepared for this.
Alright, just a little bit more. Okay, so with this, we are debt-free. So all the money we make is our own. So we made almost 10,000. So we can keep that up for 3 months. That'll take care of that objective, and that might get us our first star. And as you get more stars, it does progress your museums, that you get more stuff available and all that.
The expedition team have returned with something special. It's about
Okay. Meaty Sword 3D, and we got a pristine quality one.
time. Expert needed to restore exhibit. Thank you.
Alright, so we're basically running out of space here. which is certainly a problem. What would it cost me to expand our museum? I remember that not being particularly cheap. Trying to remember how we do this. That's building.
Staff requires medical attention.
Edit building, that's right.
Once again.
So that'd be 185,000. You're gonna upgrade those. So I guess then once we get our next 10,000, I'll probably send people to do some of the fantasy stuff for a little while to fill in this area, because that area is running out of space.
Caught in the act. What about?
All right, 1-star museum. What are you doing up there? This is never would have happened on my watch. I simply must pay more attention, darn you. So we got a metal bench and a snow slushy unlocked.
Back now to the story of the missing curator. A little less lost, but still not entirely found. The county has established a base camp in the Pointy Mountains to act as a search site. Apparently, tickets are available now if you fancy a trip in a cable car, or if you're a Yeti already in the area.
That's what's the Angry Birds aspect? One second. The representative of the culture, Department of Culture is arriving for the yearly inspection. Good day, I'm Bartholomew F. Yeti, ambassador of the Bigfoot Foundation. At the BFF, we're always looking for ways to promote life in Pointy Mountains. I believe your museum is exactly what we're looking for. The kind of thing that could put us on the metaphorical map. We've already spotted hikers making their way up to us. Who knows what might follow if the word continues to spread? You have our attention. Okay, so what I was going to say is the Angry Birds aspect is there is a thing they added a while back called the Digiverse. That my understanding is each of these nodes is like crossovers with other indie games and all that. So Angry Birds will be one of these things out here somewhere. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and, like I was saying, we'll probably have to lean in on the fantasy stuff for a little bit here. Just because I don't have the people I need for some of this. Okay, so let's get you out of here. Put you in there instead. And then with that, get the XP.
Expedition is leaving now. Final call for wherever it is you're going.
And I can have you work on this. To basically get people leveling as best we can. All right.
Hi, I'm Hayley Von Trowell, and you're listening to Digging Deeper, the show that covers all things related to archaeology, science, aliens, the otherworldly, and even giant football pyramids. Together, we'll go on a journey of discovery, stopping off to learn from preeminent minds about the world's most cutting-edge theories and revelations. In today's show, is the world about to be overrun by an army of killer gnomes? We'll find out right after this. If we're still here, of course.
Okay. So wanted me to buy some maps.
Expedition team returning from the digital realm.
Okay, and we want to serve guests in the cafeteria. That's going to happen. So what do we get from the digital realm? Okay, so the greengrocer, it's just an epic one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose it to place the exhibit. I'm going to chuck it into the oven. It's not giving us what we want. We made money. We've got a school trip coming in. We captured a thief, and we got a good report that didn't cost us anything. Go ahead and we can immediately grab you. Send you right back out here. Because we're just trying to get a better reward. Meanwhile, we got you. Alright. We got a pristine poultry pole. Bewitched with 11 secret herbs and spices, this mysterious totem is packed with enough foul power to drive anyone clucking crazy. It is enchanted, positive, provides positive or negative effects depending on its grubbiness. Spice of Life may entertain or bore guests with the power of poultry. Sure.
Congratulations to our newly promoted staff member. Now, get back to work. Welcome to the museum, children. And goodbye, everyone else.
Okay, so you're already maxed out with their decorations and all that. Again, we're kind of working on these fantasy things real fast. Alright, so you've got that. For this, we can pin to track these. So we need a marine life person and a potion person. Alright, so we've got everything we could throw at it, but it's not enough to prevent any of those negatives. So we don't want to do that. We can work on having you try and get the boots.
Announcement. Staff training complete. Well done, you.
Okay. But yeah, so as you can see, we're starting to pick up the pace a bit on our money. That's because we're keeping a lot of really high-end exhibits together. I also have a tour, and tours are a great way to make a lot of money in this game if you set up a decent tour. Incredible. We rarely have guests. What a treat. If it were up to me, and me alone, I would have already had the full support of the Bigfoot Foundation. Some of the Yeti elders can be a little stubborn, though. Indulge them in their love of all things frozen, and I'm sure you can change their minds. A staff member has leveled up. Upgrade. Oh!
Announcement. Staff
Hey.
member promoted. What a great place to work.
I didn't realize with the fantasy experts.
Pristine exhibits.
Okay, they level up, and then you have to set their attributes they've learned or earned. Alright, so we got the better boots. Yep. So let's send that to the inventory.
On exhibit. It's no longer presentable.
I don't remember how to send it to the inventory. There we go. Grab the pristine one. And thank you, Kal-El, for the raid. I do really appreciate it. I hope you had yourself a good stream and all good stuff. But welcome in, raiders. Alright, let's see what we got from the Digivert. Okay. So this one we're going to send to inventory. I've already got those. We're going to sell the meaty sword. So we spent 10,000 to go out and get, and we got 5,500 back. So that's the reason you don't just get those things and sell them. You will typically lose money doing that. But you don't always know what your reward is if you're going to get a better version, so sometimes you just do it.
Filter what I say.
Alright. Okay, and we'll keep leveling you while we wait. Gotcha, so I keep taking the digital people away. Let's see if we can get another digital person soon. Meanwhile, I can go over here to fantasy. Get both of those pristine, both of those pristine, those are pristine. We can swap you out for smart one. Get the XP.
Noted. You're none. Not much, but still. Announcement. An exhibit needs restoring. Typical.
And I'm just going between my various people and assigning their skill points, apparently, because that's a thing I have to do.
Exhaustive expeditions may be exhausting.
Alright, we can go ahead and hide the overlay there. But yeah, no, definitely 2-point museum is just like really a jam. Yeah, so we get the opportunity, we want to bring in a second digital expert. Help speed things up. And pretty soon we should be able to get enough money to expand the museum over on this side to make a dedicated space for the Digiverse stuff. While I continue to spread the fantasy stuff, and then eventually, you know, we can keep spreading the museum. It is interesting that this one's like broken up in blocks, where I can buy the blocks one by one at about 25,000 each. So it's like very much a grid.
Announcement. Staff in need of medical attention. Thank you.
Okay, so you want me to complete 3 marketing campaigns, and you want to receive $25,000 of donations from Frozen Finds. And guess with 50 knowledge.
Professor has described as a hidden gnome.
Okay, so that's something that'll happen kind of on its own. They want me to reach museum level 18, so I'm not going to worry about these other ones really that much until we start getting up there. The marketing is something we could work on, but I have other things I'd rather be working on.
Porcelain and unblinking eyes, lying in wait to rise up and conquer humanity. In an act of heroism, the professor and his team took up sticks and smashed the clay menaces to dust before they could march.
Alright, we got a pristine green grocer. Cool.
On major cities. Don't know about you, but I'll be sleeping more soundly tonight.
The expedition team are back. I have a good feeling about this one.
So you want to be near a meat wizard poster. Alright, so you can go to decorations.
Expert needed to restore exhibit.
And we've got a pristine devilish door. I'm gonna take you and put you away. Alright, so you just need this guy to just kind of churn away at this to analyze stuff before we go and grab even more. Because otherwise what's going to happen is I'm just going to keep backlogging these and sending them out. The big thing that needs to happen is I need to bring in another digital person. Oh, you're a science expert, okay.
Analysis complete. Our collective knowledge has increased.
Gift shop power-up. Okay, we've already got the knowledge from the bolt buckle boots, so we can sell those. And we got a buzz booster. So we're gonna put the buzz booster in there. We got both of those pristine level. Got both those pristine, those pristine. Those pristine. Alright. You take the strength potion to help here, but that won't help out with the other things. So it's kind of an interesting one where I kind of just have to endure it. So I'll send you just to get that.
Your stuff.
We've got you for the digital verse stuff. I guess we just keep you going out here for the moment till we got more stuff leveled.
Expedition team leaving for thorough investigation.
Alright.
Maybe sometime.
I need to be saving up money to expand the museum, like, physical
Please
footprint.
excuse the exhibit that requires restoration. I'm pretending it's not there.
Alright, we're gonna advertise for another digital person. Because otherwise we might never get one. And I need one to do the restoration of the Digiverse stuff that we've already got in the museum. And I also need one so that we can have them leveling on different paths, as it were. We can hopefully get stuff sorted out there. Alright, so you'll be a tour guide. That's fine. It's not really what I planned for, but that's fine.
Congratulations to our newly promoted staff member. Now, get back to work.
Okay. We'll give you survival skills. Yeah, because I kind of like to specialize them. Sometimes you have to balance them out for expedition stuff. But if you balance them out, it can really kind of help. Or sorry, not balance them. If you specialize them, it can really help with a lot of stuff. Because like if we specialize them in a tour guide, I know to make that person a tour guide to get the most bang for my buck kind of deal. Okay. Nothing to worry about there. Yep, so we're just waiting for a bit more money to expand the museum.
Thank you.
But those things you kind of almost always want to have them going out for expeditions to level people to get pristine stuff. Okay, so we've already got the meaty sword, so meaty sword. You're done. Three-handed greatsword. You've already found that pristine quality. Once I have a chance to work on that, we can get the next thing going. Alright. Okay, we're just trying to level people up in the meantime, which is why we're just sending them out again and again.
You know, in case something
Okay, do this.
The expedition team are leaving.
Alright.
Please say goodbye and good riddance.
Ooh, definitely feeling where I woke up way earlier today. I'm sure people have been noticing that. I'm not like getting sleepy, but definitely like feeling a bit fatigued, but it was a really cool thing to take part in the SES Software's like little interview thing. It's definitely a good time. I'm also happy we streamed and finished Factorio today. And then what I'll probably do is
If you love Milkmaid
I do not know if we'll
milkshakes,
have the
then
stream
you'll
for
lap up
Friday
the
or
new
not,
Milkmaid
but
flavoured milk range.
we'll definitely have
A
one for
crazy
Saturday.
concoction of flavours that'll have
And
your taste
with
buds
Friday, it's
purring
like
for more.
I don't know what we'll be playing, but we'll figure it out when we get there.
Single cream, double cream, half cream, clotted cream. You won't believe the variety of flavours on offer. Milkmaid flavoured milk. Now that's good milk.
Not technically milk.
Okay. So we'll analyze stuff for more information, or knowledge, or whatever.
Announcement. Analysis complete. Learn anything good?
We got the easy fix thing. We've already got you set up here, so drop you in for research. That's a duplicate, so we can go into sell it. Okay. And not really seeing a good place to put this. Okay, easy fix.
Staff should seek medical attention in the museum.
Alright, and what do we got in our box this time? We did get a pristine teeny kettle where it is enchanted, so it gives a positive or negative base on how clean it is. Wishful drinking may or may not grant guests a wish. So put that into our inventory.
Hospital.
We already have a pristine version of it. That's kind of a waste, but that's okay. Point is we're gaining levels and all that. Then go to you. So to unlock this, I need pristine quality temperate fish exhibit. Okay. That'll be pretty annoying for a couple of reasons. To get that, we're gonna have to get a biologist, and we're gonna have to send them to start getting stuff for the aquarium. And the big problem with that is that requires more space in my museum,
Attention.
which I don't really have right now.
Please say goodbye and good riddance.
I'm already trying to expand stuff to make room for this.
Vandals caught vandalizing. We stopped them, obviously.
Slightly alarming that there's random chickens throughout the building, but is probably okay. What's the worst that could happen? Alright, just stretching real fast. Yeah, so just thinking for the game for tomorrow we're there. So that's one they said was early on. Yeah, we got a lot that are early access games that might be worth circling back to later. Okay.
Analysis complete. Our collective knowledge has increased.
Cool. So we now have a doorway we can do for the fantasy stuff. Energy boost, so guests gain energy when they see things. Alright. And now I can go in here. Don't have any more exhibits to drop off yet there. You're working on that. Let's check our staff members real fast. Okay, none of them are saying we can upgrade them more, so.
Gift shop requires an assistant. You work in...
Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, most of these have already got pristine. You need the marine life thing. You need me to get a potion master at level 2. You need to... You need me just to get stats in general. You need me to get a botanist. Okay, so basically it looks like we need a botanist and or an aquarium. The aquarium will help with both the Digiverse and the fantasy stuff. So we're gonna keep our eyes open for an aquarist. And we have one who could do rapid restoration. So I guess we're doing aquarium things now. Hey Arjun, how's it going?
Pristine exhibits will receive the same treatment as everyone else. There's no escaping the crate.
Alright, so we've got a pristine quality raised steak. Then grab you. Chuck you in for research. Grab you. Cool.
Announcement. Our health and safety standards are being inspected.
Alright, what do we need to... Yeah, so you needed... Yes, we need 1 temperate fish there. 3 great quality temperate fish. And you just need a bunch of people you don't have the levels for. Alright. So that's going to make things awkward. Because that means potentially 2 expansions to get like an aquarium space and to get the Digiverse stuff in their own room. So we can start figuring that out. So that is going to be editing this building.
Museum staff promoted. Aren't you capable?
Oh, I thought that was going to cost way more. Okay. There's a lot more we can do to decorate as well. I'm just kind of waiting on putting any real focus in it until we've kind of got our unlocks. So that way when it comes to decorations, we give them, you know, whatever fits their theme. All right.
Welcome back. Now it's time for our sporadically regular slot, Did You Know?, where we reveal an exciting little-known fact to help edify you, the listener.
Security sticker.
Did you know that the average museum gets through 2,467 sheets of toilet paper each day, enough to stretch from the ground to the summit of a tall tree and back again? Oh.
Analysis complete. Our collective knowledge has increased.
Okay. So cool. This is where we're going to go and do the aquarium. Alright, so let's go ahead and we need to get an aquarist out to the aquarium things. And start here. We don't want an injury, so we can use the medical kit to cancel that. And then all these other things aren't going to really happen for a while. So we'll go ahead and just tell them to start working on that to get ourselves a animal. But it seems like Twitch is doing Twitch things. Yeah, that's pretty standard. Day ends with I. Twitch be twitching. Alright, so you're waiting on the fish. All the other stuff's waiting on the fish. So we can just let them kind of do their thing for a couple minutes here. But we will go and get an aquarium over here. The thing I gotta remember is how we actually build that. Aquarium, that's right. So get the water filter and all that.
Staff requires medical attention. Not this again.
And we got decorations we can unlock. That's you get a currency as you play the game that just unlocks the decorations. As you can see, I've got absurd amounts to the point that I don't really have to think about it. That's just from normal gameplay. Oh yeah, so you can see also some of these have requirements that I haven't met. Alright. So right now there's no decorations in there or anything. We're going to get a temperate fish. We're going to get food for it. And that'll allow us to have the temperate fish starting to get in here so we can continue getting objectives done. And a museum exhibit. Alright. As we get a temperate fish in here, that'll do us some good. That I believe will unlock the next part of the Digiverse.
This is a pre-recorded announcement. Oh, what should I say?
Okay. So we got a clownfish, the joke of the sea. It entertains viewers. It needs a food dispenser to survive, and it's a temperate climate. So place an exhibit. So you are set to temperate. Cool. You're going to need a food thing to survive. Let's go here to... fresh food dispenser. And you want...
Staff in need of medical attention.
saying you need a flake food dispenser? Okay, so that gives you what you need there. Once an aquarium plants any decoration. Alright, so you want me to decorate this place with some plants. Okay, we're just trying to put a bunch of random rocks and all that in here. Okay. And with that, it's up to maximum buzz on it and everything, and we do have a clownfish in there. So if we do check with this, we can go out here. Was it you that needed the temperate fish? Display a pristine quality temperate fish. I understand. Meanwhile, for you, you needed 3 great quality temperate fish or better. So let's go ahead and just go back to the aquarium area. And we can just start expedition. Do it again. Prevent the injury. Detailed. And we can just try and get that pristine fish. They can put a lot of fish in there. They can take care of all that. Meanwhile, start the expedition back over here. Let's try and go for a legendary meaty sword. Alright, so you can't do it because it won't work with you. Yeah, we don't know your traits yet, but that's fine. We can change you from our XP, detailed. Get that done. You're just going for the pristine stuff. Alright. Very quickly, the fantasy is forcing us to go into a bunch of different types of museums. We also need to have benches. We put trash can over here. I'll need a collection spot. We can put that around here. Let's grab some informational posters. Okay. So that'll help add a little bit more to our museum to keep things moving.
Retrieved from thieves. No one takes our stuff.
Alright, so it's also looking like we might be at that point that I might need a second security guard.
We're almost out of time, but there's just enough for a reader's question, a chance to challenge my knowledge to help you, the listening public, learn more about archaeology, science, and the otherworldly. Today's query comes from Jessica Gibbonnose, who asks, would it have made more sense for the pyramids to have been round, so they could have been rolled across the desert, rather than being constructed one block at a time? Well, Jessica, it's an interesting point. Actually, it's not. I've been Hayley Von Trowell. Join me next time for another, hopefully much better episode of Digging Deeper.
I do like how with that character, every single time they have someone like call in, it'll be something ridiculous. And just every time it's like, oh, it's so terrible. Alright, so we'll place this in here.
After some delays, the expedition team are back again.
And we're going to send you right back out. Because I do want to get a pristine fish, if at all possible.
The expedition team are departing now. I'm always so glad that I don't have
If we
to
can get a
go.
pristine fish, that'll open up the Digiverse. And if we get one more just okay, great or better temperate fish, then that'll actually go and get the fantasy stuff opened up where we can get more going there. It'll all be good stuff and whatnot. Alright, so what do we got here? This will be, come on, pristine meaty sword. That's a pristine meaty sword. So with that, let's go to our meaty sword. And you can just straight up be sold. And grab you.
Attention.
Our devilish
Yes, Finn
door
Ford are
upgrade.
reminded that they're not all that.
Okay, so you want what? Near a meat wizard interactive display. Okay. Can I make a meat wizard interactive display? Because I don't think I can. Do we have that as a thing here? No, those are all power-ups, so we don't care about that right now. So that'll be something we work on later. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to your digital verse stuff. So we've got everything here maxed out. We don't need to go back there. So we can still get the broccoli there. Okay, so you need to be the other one to prevent that from happening. And we can do this.
Promoted. You're now a little better. Not much, but still.
And we'll need to also do botany in not too long. I'm going to wait on that because that'll be yet another category of museum stuff. And I honestly don't want to get another one of those going yet. It also won't be too much longer until we either need to expand or make a second bathroom. Probably also time pretty soon to make a better cafeteria. Okay, people are still training, which is all good.
School trip arriving soon. That's your warning. Okay.
And we got a flying fish. Alright, so place the exhibit right there. Cool. So with that, we got multiple things unlocked. So that we can start advancing the Digiverse and all that good stuff. So I can go here. So with this, we got a point of interest type. The broken code of Meat Wizard 3D caused a data leak, which started to as soon as we trickle, became a torrent of the information of an unfinished game design. Alright, so we've unlocked that. So we have a glitch, so we need a game master to avoid the glitch. We need someone with just 8 points, 8 cumulative 8 levels, or we get seasick. Alright. So let's wait till our other person is available. So while we worry about that, we can go to the fantasy area, where we unlocked this spot. On the kingdom's southern coast, merchants trade all manner of rare goods in hushed whispers and pouring rain. Okay. So we can prevent someone from dying. We can prevent someone from getting a hurdy leg by a distressed crab. And then if we were to continue to boost our luck and all that sort of stuff, we can get other stuff going on. I'll go ahead and get the XP, go for detailed, start expedition here.
Expedition is leaving now. Final call for wherever it is you're going.
So I'm probably going to need a second person here who can do the water stuff. And well, it's perfect. Second one to do the water stuff. That way I can go into your stuff and get fish whispering. Because I've had multiple objective asks for fish whispering. Alright, Duchess Princess, you have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. Alright, so the next thing we're probably going to need to do is after this, it also looks like I'm going to need a botanist. Which, it's going to be a situation where I'm getting these like weird, all these different styles of exhibits mashed into one place. We're definitely not going to want that to continue long term. But I do plan to continue to expand out this space. And we'll see what we can do. That's fine. All right. So hopefully when this one gets back, we'll be able to keep pushing the broccoli stuff. It's a school trip. Those are going fine. Yeah, so we'll need to get an expert qualified in level 2 potion mastery.
To our newly promoted staff member. Now, get back to work.
All right. Okay, so we did get a pristine one. So I'll send this to my inventory. We'll get the broccoli. Grab you and start you getting your research.
We're able to unlock a new expedition location. Should we try something different?
All right, I want to give our Aquarius a chance to refill the food and all that. Okay. So you're already on that. Marine life expert in the museum, 0.
Imagine a place filled
Do I
with things
not have
you
2 of
could
them?
Never afford. Whoa! Countless, priceless artifacts from every corner of the world. Oh, locked away for safekeeping. Well, keep imagining. Oh, Jumbo Museum. The museum for big spenders.
Okay. So it looks like we got our person training. I've got to wait till they finish their training before I could send them out. Which is fine. They won't be too much longer till they're back. Now, there isn't an idea like an artifact's been there too long, so therefore you reduce your benefit from it.
Announcement.
It's just not how it
Analysis
works.
complete.
Once you get set up, it's just good for good. Put the entertainment increase in you. Alright, support storm. Let's see what you get. We got a swordfish capable of darting through water with scalpel-like precision. The bane of the realm's fishermen, this noble creature is known for slicing nets and lines to protect other fish. Cool. have a good time, I guess. Alright, let's see about the Digiverse thing. So you can prevent these two from being a problem, and we just won't get that benefit, so we'll do this, and get XP.
Staff member promoted.
Then meanwhile, I can go back to the fantasy side. Okay, so we can prevent getting sick. And then we could use this to prevent the injury. And that'll clear up another area for us to get access to.
Departing on an expedition. I'm sure you'll need it.
Okay, and we're upgrading our aquarium a bunch, which is good. We got our tour guide doing their tour guide thing down here. So it looks like I don't have enough assistants. So let's go ahead and get another assistant. So you want... Your training speed is worse, and you have high salary expectations. Let's see. Ah, I see. So they gave them more traits, but so those traits, like clumsy, just randomly get injured. I see. So our mechanic has the trait where they just randomly get injured again and again. That's what's going on. I forgot they expanded those because they were pretty limited when the game first came out and what those could be. Let's see. Ensure your place the donation bins near or exists for more money. Yeah, that's fine. We can deal with that. So we're waiting on all this.
Expedition team returning from fantasy.
Okay, so we've unlocked the Mines of Ad Nausea. The Mines of Ad Nausea, an the intricate tunnel system that leads to the Dwarven Peninsula, is easy navigated by its residents, but poorly navigated by pretty much everyone else. It's poetry in motion sickness. All right. It's interesting I don't seem to be allowed to choose it. Oh, because I don't have an available helicopter. That checks out. Alright, we just got some XP for doing a thing for clearing the area.
But they're not prepared for them.
Alright, we showcase that, so it's an extra 20,000 we got to put in our pocket. Okay, so you require a botany expert to unlock. And you require to have a dwarf visit and get 500 buzz and display a epic quality dwarf artifact. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say we're going to be finding dwarf artifacts in here. Ah, okay, so I need to have enough dexterity or someone dies.
Needed to restock gift shop.
Because that's the fantasy one, is where you have, like, you know, D&D mechanics where you got attributes and all that, and you have to have enough attributes to make things work and yada yada.
Announcement. Exhaustive expeditions may be exhausting.
Alright. Got all them going. No one else for immediate training. I imagine we'll want to have some people specialize in stats for the fantasy stuff, and then you'll end up having a couple you want to have like jack of all trades to fill in wherever you need someone to fill in. Like be okay at everything.
We're able to unlock a new expedition location. Should we try something different?
Alright. Yeah, mine's been going really good. Destiny at the gift shop. You're still waiting for other options. Because you take longer breaks, but you do have a reduced salary expectation. You have a higher salary. Okay, you're just plain happy.
Come back with the Digiverse.
Welcome aboard, person who's just happy.
It's an appropriate place for zeros and ones.
And we will have you do customer service. Well, I've actually got a bunch of customer service. You'll do... Happy thoughts. Is this the Rual Storge or Rual Storage Emporium? Okay, that's wonderful. Alright. So it could be in any climate. It wants flake food. It is an unreal fish that doesn't contribute to messiness. And it is incapable of having eggs.
Museum staff
Sure.
promoted. Aren't you capable?
Alright, so we got a grass geode from the Dwarven Peninsula. Can be processed by a geode device. Okay. So we are now learning that I can break geodes and potentially get stuff. Not hanging near a hanging torch. Oh wait, you don't go there. You go down here. Cool. We need just a little bit more fantasy stuff. Alright, so let's get back to the Digiverse stuff. Oh, I have to just click on it. Ahoy there, you're a new face? A fisherman, I take it? Perfect. Well, we should get along like a house on fire. There's plenty of fish in these parts, so set sail, see what you find. I just don't recommend going out at night. Greetings from a space settler. I have arrived here on a previously unexplored planet after spending a century asleep in an Alta cryopod. But you get to hop right through that rift of digital space-time. Isn't that neat? My task was to establish a small community and await for fresh-faced colonists like you to build a flourishing foothold for humanity in deep space. That's the goal of Alta Interstellar. And when they bought my previous employer, they made my goal too. A crucial element of our mission is to catalog pristine alien ecosystems. Sadly, our weak, fleshy bodies have been preoccupied with staying alive and uneaten. Maybe you can help us with the cataloging. Go ahead, switch in your scanner, scan a creature, and some funky plant. Anything, really. Alright, so we can pin that. So we've got you. I'll pin that. So if you didn't catch, this appears to be Dredge. Ciao, ciao. I'm Poracho. Don't mind the smell. To you, youngster, the may smell like garlic, but to me, it smells like power. Delicious power. Or it did when I was still running around fighting off monsters. These days, I'm perfect to sit mostly. But that won't do for you. Where I'm from, rest is earned with time and paid for with garlic. Keep your feet moving and your eyes peeled. For monsters, you know, peeled like garlic, you'll see soon enough. So we got a vampire survivors Digiverse thing. And then there's the new one, Angry Birds. Hello, what's going on? You're no pig. What are you? So the legends are true. How exciting. How strange. Sorry, I'm Matilda. I'd usually be more welcoming, but with the bad piggies have stolen our eggs again. Yeah, we're sort of in the middle of something. This time, they've stolen a golden egg, taking it back to the pig city, which is pretty much the worst place it could be. Tempers are certainly flying high. Do you have any experience of dealing with rotten behavior? We just have to get a security system for our eggs. Alright, so that requires a wildlife expert. Yeah, so you get the idea that there's all these crossovers. You got Meat Wizard. I don't know what the Alta is, but that's clearly something else. We've got Dredge, we got Vampire Survivors, and we got Angry Birds. Unfortunately for us, we don't really have a wildlife expert and have a camera room with a level 3 decorating. And then we need a lot of fish stuff for there. So let's work... Oh, you already have everything for that one. Alright, well, I guess we'll start doing dredge things. Okay, so we can go ahead and use the medical kit to prevent the injury.
Attention. Your donations are...
Alright, now we can go back to the fantasy stuff. We're getting all this over here. So let's go ahead and we'll sit there and do the fantasy experts over there. Cool. XP, do this, start expedition, get more dwarven stuff. Alright, so it's looking like what's going to need to happen here is... I'm already forgetting what I need. Oh, it was a wildlife expert. Okay. So we'll need to expand into wildlife. We also need to expand into botany. It's kind of making me do just a whole range of stuff. Which is definitely not the best, because every additional person is that much more salary I gotta pay. And if they're only keeping 1 or 2 exhibits running per person, that is very inefficient.
Medical attention. Thank you.
So we can do temporarily. Let's go here. Edit building. I just gotta remember about how to put doors and that in between stuff. So what I want to do is make this an employee section. Because I know we can make
Our conservation standards are being inspected.
decorative walls and that. I thought it was somewhere in here.
Has a new exhibit, but we don't know what it is yet.
Ah, there we go. So we wall that off.
The expedition team are back.
And then employee door.
Feeling about this one.
So that way we have only the staff members cutting back into this area. Alright, so what do we actually get? Another dwarven thing. We got a fire geode of pristine quality, which we can apparently also get stuff from if we go and get the geode destroying thing. Alright, so these broadly need decorations in general. Now we can go to you. So we got a cod. That is a temperate fish. It looks tasty. Decreases guest hunger.
Training complete. Don't let it go to your head.
Okay, can I edit you? Okay, just moving a couple things around. Okay, so with that, it should have increased the number of fish I can have in here. So we got our first fish from Dredge. So I can go over here. We need to grab you. So unlocking the next one. These will appear with points of interest. Display a blue mackerel. Oh, so you're ready for training. Let's get that training done first.
Museum before going to a hospital.
I'll have you do the tour guide thing. Okay, we don't have a digital expert available. We can't do that one, that's fine. We need more of these. Alright, so we do need to have the person with agility. I don't have collectively enough agility to avoid the MIA? What? Okay, there we go.
New map location.
Yeah, because MIA means you lose a person, and they're just gone forever. So we definitely don't want that. Now, I had planned on making this a botany area over here, and since we're now doing dredge stuff, I just have even more fish I need. Okay, I'll check that later. The resolved dilemma. Ad nauseating. The team is lost in the mine's twisting tunnels. A lone minecart piques their interest, but its track leads almost directly upward. We are definitely riding the minecart. The minecart rocks backwards deep underground, soon as arriving at the best quest and hotel and at the bedrock of the mine system. The team enjoyed a quick stay before moving on refreshed. Neat.
Staff requires medical attention. Not this again.
Okay, so now we need to go into potentially seeing who else we can get a hire from. Because we're looking for botanists. We're looking for wildlife people. So we're going to go ahead and say photographic memory, chance for expedition to increase happiness. Yes, you sound awesome. And we're going to go here. You don't have any special botany things, so I'll give you survival. And then I'm going to grab the other botanist. Sick at the sight of sick. Sure, why not? And you, on the other hand, are going to be given survey skill, I think. So we'll need to get you out doing botany things. And then this area over here will be botany for right now.
Now, get back to work.
Okay, so you need a level 2 fantasy expert, and a dwarf to visit with 500 buzz. You still have another thing to discover there. Since we don't have what we need for the botany place. Wasn't botany like a subsection of this? A much higher level botany person for that. There's somewhere around here. They got like early botany stuff. So wasn't... Maybe it was up here? Okay, so it looks like it'd be over here. But because my botany people are training, it won't let me use them.
Ticket, but why would you do that?
Alright. We got a grass geode.
Expedition team have returned with something special. It's about time.
Okay, security warning. There's a crime gang in the area caught casing the museum. The golden moles will be... Basically, they're people who pop up out of the ground and then try and steal your exhibits that way.
Harrison Wolf on 2 Point Radio.
Okay, we can upgrade our water filter.
Hey, how are you? You're listening to Harrison Wolf on 2 Point Radio.
Yeah, so there's one right there. So one of the tricks with this is if you do see them, what is even happening to you? I'm looking for my security guards.
A little ordinary for my liking. I'll come up with something unconventional.
Oh, there we go.
While you listen to some conventional music.
Staff should seek medical attention in the museum before going to a hospital.
Okay, we got another one here. I should have another security guard around here somewhere. So they were both nearby here. Where it looked like it's trying to zoom. Oh, I forgot I had that over there.
Before they could escape with an exhibit. That was a close one. Analysis complete. Our collective knowledge has increased.
Got another one over here. Alright, so we're just trying to stay on top of all the people like the crime moles, not because I got this one guard positioned here. So they should see anyone coming from this area pretty easily. Let's go check to see what we can get going expedition-wise. Right, so I wanted to go over here because it looked like I was going to be able to get a botany exhibit over here. And I need to start working on botanist. So that hurts the expedition quality if we go this one. That makes it slow. So you're worse than the other one. So I can't avoid getting the worst quality. So that's unfortunate. But they just need to level up. That's fine. We go over here. Let's go to the Digiverse thing. I can go ahead and send Mew in there, which gets everything we want.
Staff member promoted. What a great place to work.
Okay, I'm just watching the moles. I believe it'll say over here while you're being targeted. So we might not be targeted anymore, which is good. Because it used to be a thing that you get targeted for a while. And so it get pretty obnoxious have to like keep an eye on things constantly. Like you always have the people come in, but it's like during those targeted ones you get like a sudden influx.
Thieves have been prevented from escaping. Phew.
And a bunch of stuff like that. So it could just be overwhelming otherwise. Alright, we're still looking for a wildlife expert as well. Alright, so that's coming along. Yes, we need wildlife buzz, we need cursed items buzz, we need botany buzz. I need to have a camera room with a level 3 decoration score. Okay. That's a whole thing.
Disinterested guests are reminded that not everything has to be a party, okay?
Just adding a bunch of security decorations.
The expedition team have finally returned. Better late than never.
Alright. So we got a security room going on there. I don't really have any cameras, I don't think, anywhere around here. But want to get that sorted. Alright, so what do we get from here? We got a blue mackerel. Particularly worthless, but enough to stave off hunger. Sap stream slightly decreases guest energy. Unlock Gale Cliffs. Wants to share an aquarium with another blue mackerel.
Not this again.
We got a peak a lily pad. Cool, so you can place the exhibit. And I want to go over here. You want to be near another botany exhibit. We can deal with that as we get there. All right.
Guests are prepared for certain levels of monotony, but they're not prepared for this.
Okay, so we've got all that stuff figured out. we're going to need a
Now for something the news isn't telling you.
donation bin
One of
over
my
here.
top sources believes that Bungled Technologies have been messing around under the county's surface. Says they've had these networks of tunnels for years.
All right, so we
Something
got
as
the
big
botany
as
thing there.
bowling alley.
So what we want to do is we've got a new place here. Then catch more stuff. In the meantime, we're still missing stuff here, so let's keep working on that. We can prevent the injury, so I can keep leveling them.
What are
Then
they
we can go to
doing
you
down
over
there?
here, and we can keep the botany stuff going. Oh, jeez. And it's a one person, so it'd have to satisfy all those. Yeah, so the overgrowth jungle, you're not matching to pull that up. Sadly, you only have the rare lilies there. So let's look to see if we have any other places that potentially would have botany things. Okay. That's a really high level botany place. Okay. You have another really high botany place there. That requires a wildlife expert. Okay, we might be able to make this work. Alright, okay, so we don't have the disguise. You just straight up
Bowling, my
MIA.
friends.
The camp.
So you have to use the disguise for there. Prehistoric fossils and all that. Alright, I don't imagine we're gonna find much botany here. Yeah, for the life of me, I can't remember. There was somewhere over here you could get some early game botany stuff. And I do not remember for the life of me where it was. Prehistory, 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 XP, prehistory. Those are botany, but they require me to level 5 botany. So we can't go more that way. XP. Here we go. Alright. So we might just take our chances letting people get sick. So have a lovely time. Oh, I can't afford the expedition.
Promoted. You're now a little better. Not
All
much,
right.
but still.
So you have Sunny is happy. Vending machines. There. So you're a security person. In the meantime, that's not going to do a whole lot with me if I don't have any security cameras anywhere.
New place of interest available to unlock for those who like maps.
Okay, so you got that. Oh, I still need more money. Right. Okay, so we got that all running. You're good. We got a couple bonuses from helping out the school kids and all that. Okay, that's fine. We just overspent. We're very profitable, so we don't have to worry about that. It'll fix itself soon.
The expedition team have returned. I saw them.
Here we got a cod.
On the internet.
And we already had that. Then go ahead and sell the cod. Wasn't really worth it. We'll just have to wait for money to come in for a couple minutes here real quick to get ourselves out to being able to get more expeditions and all that. But we got more like Digiverse stuff going on. And one thing we'll ultimately do is as we expand and I make dedicated wings, I can go over here, make a door going in there, we can theme the whole thing. We did a lot of that the first time I played this, where we got to our later museums. It would have like, this is the artifact wing, and this is the aquarium wing, and that kind of stuff.
Staff promoted. You're now a little better. Not much, but still. Announcement. Our health and safety standards are being inspected.
Okay, got more varieties of guests showing up little by little.
Thieves were caught before they could escape with an exhibit. That was a close one.
Now we still need a wildlife expert as well. No luck so far. Okay. So we should be about ready to go for the other botany exhibit. Which is here. Alright, so we can prevent the injury. But we are going to be embracing sickness. Alright, we'll switch you to the affordable one. That's fine.
Please join me in saying farewell to the expedition team. They may never come back.
Yeah, because we need to get display 125 buzz from cursed items. And display 70 botany buzz. Okay, so you got another level in training. We're gonna get you one more level in button master. So you can be pro gamer. Unlock all the goodies. Alright, chat, I'm going to quickly stretch my legs and all that stuff really fast.
Staff
So I'll be back in just a minute to keep things going, but thank you again so much for tuning in. I'll be back in just a minute, and I'll see you then. Okay, and we're back. Just need to stretch my legs, wake myself up a little bit.
If you need more cash and fewer questions, then you need Swindles. Other loan companies will have you jumping through hoops. But we're here to make sure our sky-high rates are in reach for everyone. Swindles. It's so easy. It's like you're robbing us.
Attention. If you touch a botany exhibit and become unwell or otherwise digested, the museum is sorry, but not responsible.
Okay. So, we weren't getting enough security guards to actually empty the bins, so we just got someone in there. Just continue to throw employees at is not really a sustainable strategy, but it's okay. And we've got where we can put up the thing here. And if we, as long as we protect it, we get a bunch of easy money. Alright, so we should be getting back. Alright, so you gained a level. We'll go ahead and have you gain our level in the workshop stuff. We'll go ahead and upgrade the water filter.
Announcement. Staff in need of medical attention. Thank you.
Okay. So I believe, yeah, we're going to get our botany one. That should boost this.
Vandals. Caught vandalizing. We stopped.
And we can just keep opening up more and more areas. But yeah, your museums will just end up getting bigger and bigger and more and all that. We do also need to start getting a project here sooner or later to
The expedition team have
get the
returned
interactive
from
stuff.
Someone has a case of irritable trowel.
Alright, we have a folding claptrap that we got a pristine quality. You require... I forgot you had this stuff. Okay. So. We opened up a new location over here. By going into the botany stuff. We'll deal with that in a minute. But this requires a hot and a humid climate. You don't care. So what needs to happen here is I need to go to the museum stuff here. I have no money. So that's a problem. So there's the wall heater. There's hot.
New map location available for discovery.
Come on. Give me just a little bit more money. Because these plants will die.
Botany exhibits are living things, but some of ours are right on the edge.
So, well, let's see what the overlay says so far as heat. I guess I need to get another heater in here. Because yeah, they do die if you don't take care of them. And they require heat and all that kind of stuff. Let's get the wall heater. Is that enough? Yeah, there you go.
Attention. Guests feeling bored are reminded that they're not all that.
Besides, my plants are merely in hibernation. So that was enough buzz to unlock ourselves a new place. I gotta wait for more money to come in. Nothing's been going good for you, Kalaria. It's always good to have you. Yeah, I forgot you have that where you have like some of those things need to be in the heat, some of them need to be in the cold, and it becomes this whole thing. Which is not too bad. It just means you have like, this is the cold room where you put your plants, and here's your hot room where you put your other plants, and here's your temperate room where you put your last set of plants. You okay? Your sleeping schedule's all wonky? I
Assistant needed
know
to
how
enter
this
the
is.
gift shop.
I'm trying to force myself to stay up because I flipped my schedule today for the thing this morning. Because I know if I go and I crash way too early, I'm gonna pay for it. But if I can force myself to go to bed at the normal time, it shouldn't be more than a day that I'm kind of low energy. Which part of the reason I didn't want to go and like play something net new today. Like this is fine because this is a game I played before. But like learning a brand new game, I was holding off on because of it. Alright, so we should have enough money to go in here. So we got you unlocked. I know a look in your face. Too long in the open water, eh? Yeah, you start to feel a little mad after a while. Nothing a good sleep won't fix. But if you really want to head out at night, you'll need to make the fathomless winch in your workshop. Careful though. People have seen strange things at night. But hey, if you're seeing strange things, maybe you're not seeing them the right way? Maybe they're not that strange, all that. Okay, the fathomless winch converts dredge points of interest to night, changing exhibits and events. Gotcha. So let's go ahead and set up another expedition, autofill that. So we need you to be higher level. Let's grab you to make sure that's high enough level that we don't take any losses and all that. We'll go ahead and have you do the XP.
Staff in need of medical attention.
And then we have no more money. Yeah, so we're catching all the fish from dredge.
Departing on an expedition. I'm sure you'll need it.
Yeah, so pretty soon I'm going to have to expand our space to start, like, moving some of this stuff around. Buzz decreases. Our door devilish could be upgraded. You can be upgraded? Oh, you're telling me I could... Yeah, it's fine.
Radio. So, what do you think Bungle are doing underground, huh? I want to hear it. Personally, I think they're detaching 2 Point from the Earth's core so they can take the county wherever they want. But where? I'll keep digging up the dirt. Hold on tight.
Alright. Yeah, so we're burning the money as fast as we're getting it. But that's partly because I am getting a lot more employees. And like that's the pro and the cons. The extra employees mean I'm capable of more, but I have to pay more. Okay, so you can go ahead and get your mechanics. But I also try and stay on top of the training. Yeah, so you can handle 4 more fish till you run out of space.
Expedition team have returned with something special. So
Alright.
about time.
Cool. Keep working on dredge. Sea monsters. Marine life. Okay. Oh, I can't afford it. Yeah, so we've got that set up.
Guests are reminded that not everything
And then this is the dredge stuff.
okay?
I mean, this dredge and just regular aquarium stuff, too. Yeah, let's try this again. Okay, so you got sea monsters. As much as I'd really... Yeah, so you're gonna have to keep doing this right now. Oh, it's 18,000. Alright, never mind. Yeah, so you gotta wait till you get some more money. We'll keep getting the dredge creatures. We need a door out of the helipad where the aquarium is. Yeah, we probably should. We can make that happen. Oh, I remember why I don't do that. I usually don't bother with the doors that way. By forcing, because I have a security guard right here, by forcing only one way in and out of the building,
We need better.
I found it to be a lot easier to deal with the thieves and all that. But yeah, no, that would definitely cut that time. I always found I didn't really care about the time though to get through here, because that's not usually an urgency you care about, versus the thieves stealing stuff. The pathing I do care about a lot. It's still not a bad idea, it's just every time I go click in there, I'll be like, cool, I have like 18, 20,000. And the money ticks down while we're waiting. Okay, so I think we're at the point I need a second bathroom.
Staff requires medical attention. Not this again.
There we go. Because I kept seeing people with the needs to use a bathroom thing, so I got one over there and I got one down here, so that should help. Why is this place utterly disgusting? There we go. We had another staff member to put more strain on our budget.
Guests are prepared for certain levels of monotony, but they're not prepared for this.
Alright, another room that we're going to want ultimately is the marketing room. Just gotta wait a minute.
Guests feeling underwhelmed by the museum's decor are reminded to be less superficial.
Okay, so one of the things it wants me to do is do 3 marketing campaigns. Which I gotta remember where that's even hidden in here. That is not the button I'm looking for. Let's go right back in. Animal adoption. Gotcha. Where was that buried in this navigation? That's the enlightenment. Sponsor, prices, graphs, overview. Somewhere in here we had the marketing.
Announcement. Staff training complete. Well done, you.
There we are, it's the room itself. So start marketing campaign. Hikers, I guess. Basic, repeat campaign, proceed. Because one of our objectives is to do 3 marketing campaigns. So I'll get that knocked out to get that objective done. In the meantime, let's go get ourselves some more exhibits. Because I would like an utterly cursed fish, please. We can wait a little bit more money, we can get ourselves another exhibit.
We can't know what Bungle are doing down there. Heck, maybe they don't even know what they're doing. But one thing's for sure, the mole people know what's going on. It's a shame they can't listen to the show. Just another reason to restart work on my secret signal booster. Sure, it shocks me a lot, but I won't rest until I've reached the moles. Harrison Wolf, over and out.
Okay. So that requires a digital expert. Okay, so we can go to the fantasy. Gotcha. Thrill Egg Hunter guests place egg baskets around your museum. Interesting. Okay, so I got the PoE time limited. Alright. So we need to get to level 10 or higher, or we get Candy Pain. We need level 2 survival, or someone straight up dies. Alright, so I don't get to do that right now. I understand. I'll work on this stuff. So you need... There we go. More XP, detailed, and get out of here.
Staff should seek medical attention in the museum before going to a hospital.
Financial warning, you've run out of money. It's... don't worry about it. Can I make that end of day report go away? There is no limit. Unlimited characters. That's fine, that's fine. That's fine, that's fine. It's all fine. Hide low priority. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that.
Retrieved from thieves. No one takes our stuff.
Alright, and you caught someone and then gained a level. Alright, so I have a little bit of money. We're going to give you another level in the cameras. Okay, we don't care, we don't care. Okay, there you go. Cool, so we can just keep that going. We could probably get a lot more money from the gift shop if I bothered to take the time to expand it.
Congratulations to our newly promoted staff member.
We'll deal with that.
Get back to work.
Okay, so we've got the COD. Unfortunately, we've got plenty of the COD. And how much is the tainted real thing? This is all the entertainment stuff. There you go. So you're 10,000.
Exhibits will receive the same treatment as everyone else. There's no escaping the crate.
Okay, so you're pristine. Unfortunately, I already have one. On the plus side, we can go and toss you in here for the research. Alright, let's go back over here. Yeah, we keep seeing the same two. It's a sea monsters marine life. I'm assuming those are just the rarer ones. On the plus side, we are gaining lots of levels doing this. Keep forgetting you're expensive.
Medical attention. Not this again.
Alright. Okay, so we still need a wildlife expert, which we haven't seen one this whole time. I can go out of my way for one. Okay, so we got straight up guys who are just gonna walk in here and try and break our stuff. The good news is I've got a security booth right by my only entrance. So they will bring in here, and I've also got a camera set up in most of my stuff as well. That should make it not a problem. The biggest thing I'm going to run into...
Analysis complete.
Cool, we got a new fence. Where's the camera we put near the entrance? All right. Let's go ahead and we can add a another camera to take advantage of that. The reason I'm doing this is now I believe we can add the thing to there that makes it so it'll sometimes reveal people in disguise. And you need a wildlife expert to do the next thing. I'll go out of my way to get a wildlife expert on the list. Because then that'll let me start unlocking all that stuff too. And there'll be yet another expert walking around with no exhibit to deal with.
Announcement. Vandal caught in the act. What a bad guest.
Alright, nimble but greedy. So for you... do microzoology. Why not train one? Why not train one what? Okay, interesting. It looks like we have the crack between our worlds is two-way. Bad news is it won't be long before the bad piggies visit your museum. The good news is that our flock have plenty of experience dealing with those swine. A few of the birds have already been trying to infiltrate the pig city. I'm sure anyone you find will be happy to help. We're a team, right? Find angry birds across the piggy island to help stop the bad piggies. Red and the gang are free bird wildlife exhibits and that roam freely around the museum. The bad piggies are a crime guild in the world of angry birds. Baggy pigs will enter through rifts in the Digiverse and target egg nests in the museum donation stands. Angry birds will stop criminals, including bad piggies, in their traps. Dazed criminals are sitting ducks for your security guards. Okay. The expert? Oh, so you don't train them, you hire them. It's so I just had to go out of my way to put in an application, be like, go hire that type into, thing.
Sun, the vegetation thrives, but everything we have is spoiled. Return to a world of legend and lamb chops with even bigger steaks. The greengrocer grows too strong.
So we're training our zoology.
Will meet again. You can't stop him this time. Meat Wizard! Meat Wizard and the rotten beef coming eventually to the bungled button master. With the games being
Okay.
We're able to unlock a new expedition location. Should we try something different?
I will. I'm training people. The other ones we're gonna get in their training. Alright. So once we get that person trained, we're gonna go ahead and I guess get angry birds. Apparently angry birds work as security. Okay. So, with that, we should have that taken care of. So we can go here. Angry Birds. Send. Alright. So we need a game person, otherwise the topping blocks just straight up kill someone. And that's interesting, because... Huh. Let's see how that works.
Marketing campaign complete. This is technically marketing.
Alright. So we got all that stuff going. Must be morning for you? Yep.
The expedition is leaving now. Final call for wherever it is you're going.
Yep, no, it's coming up at 4 a.m. my time. But this is pretty normal for stream, as I start at 7 p.m., go to 4 a.m. I kind of do like the overnight stream. Alright, so we're doing good here. Once we get some more money, we'll keep grabbing stuff from Dredge. Point Museum is such a great game. So like I'm kind of playing this now and I'm kind of like, you know what? I want to go back. I'm not sure if we stream, but I want to go back to like the older museums, like the aquarium, and get all the dredge fish and putting it in the aquarium museum.
Attention. Guests feeling bored
And all that.
are reminded that they're not all that.
Yeah, I know. I don't have enough entertainment stuff. I have no money. I want more exhibits. I'm just hiring too many people. Okay. A product of porcine planning. This structure designed to keep out birds. And
Thank
does
you Squared
sometimes.
for subscribing for 38 months. Hi Rual and chat. How's the museum life going today?
Hey FG, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. The 38 months you've been subbed to the channel, I really do appreciate it. It's going pretty good. We are doing Angry Birds, apparently. Who apparently can also be my security. Apparently. It's weird. But also fun. So you know that thing. You love that they're keeping it fresh with new stuff, but heck does that give you problems with space in your existing museums? Where do I stick it all? So that's kind of the thing. It almost feels like the Winter Museum is for that. Go check out FG Squared, an absolutely fantastic content creator. You know, definitely we have a lot of games we play in common, all that stuff. I'll remember the House Kid Frequency stream team, the stream team I'm on. So just really, really good times over there. You didn't know about the security? That's great. Yeah, apparently they like stun them and so your security guards can catch up and all that kind of stuff and all that. But yeah, no, it's a weird thing. So let's go ahead and place this exhibit. It looks like it's a set.
Crime-free while security takes a break.
But right now, I just plunk you down there. But yeah, so with the room, I think it's for like that's one of the reasons they have this map where it's just literally we're gonna pull this open. It looks like it's just free space to work with how you want. But yeah, no, some of the ones like the aquarium where they're all like the different tiers and all that, it feels like those will get very claustrophobic. Everyone's excited to look at platform. Near a donation station.
Museum staff promoted. Aren't you capable?
You can put some piggy balloons, some small piggy blocks, some wide piggy blocks. Yeah, winter map's great. Intern space. Yeah, that's the way it feels. All right, so I got our marketing campaign done. So we're going to stop the marketing campaign.
Attention, guests feeling bored are reminded that they're not all that.
You know what? Fine.
Attention, thieves have been prevented from escaping. Phew.
Just do a general admission one. You seem to recall this map was much harder in terms of income for some reason. Yeah, they start you off early on with difficulty. They force you into a loan right at the beginning. But it seems like once you get past that loan, it kind of settles back down. So I think that was the idea, is this one starts you on a bad foot deliberately as a way for you to climb out of the hole. And plus the starting space is fairly small, and then you gotta buy each tile. But they're only 25,000, which is not super awful. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but that's like 2 expeditions. Yeah, so we need the wildlife buzz. There's a whole bunch of stuff here.
Medical attention in the museum before going to a hospital.
So I just need more money. Okay, so is that enough to do the Angry Bird one? Alright, so set up expedition. So we need to... You have a hurdy leg. Alright, so you gotta wait for your hurdy leg to get better. People are leveling up, it's costing me too much money. I have too much staff for the size of my museum. We're still making money. Can't believe it's not 2 Point Hospital. I mean, 2 Point Hospital was fun. I definitely feel like with 2 Point Museum, the 2 Point people really hit their stride. Like 2 Point Hospital was good, 2 Point Campus is pretty decent, but like 2 Point Museum definitely feels like it is a tier higher than the other ones.
Allegedly happened.
Especially considering like some of the DLC have had like fundamental change of the gameplay, like the fantasy one where you've got equipment and everything and all that stuff. Yeah, no, 2 Point Museum is definitely like their best title they've had at this stage. Okay, so we'll prevent ourselves from having anyone go MIA. So it's the end of the zoo expansion was really good. Yeah, so I haven't done much with the Digiverse thing, but the other ones have. You've run out of money. Oh, it's fine. That's because I'm spending it all. Yeah, they weren't afraid to shake things up when they brought in the new DLCs. Oh yeah, no, it's very, very different.
Guests are prepared for certain levels of monotony, but they're not prepared for this.
Alright. I will say the Digiverse stuff does seem to be going like, okay, you need a botanist, okay, you need a wildlife person, okay, you need a this. That they are kind of forcing me to have a whole bunch of different stuff, which is part of what's hurting me, is I have like an expert or two to handle one aquarium, an expert or two to handle one set of botany plants, an expert or two to handle like 1 or 2 things here and there. Which, I mean, the answer is I should be probably just gradually growing the museum normally and as they become available, but the Digiverse stuff is the stuff I want to see the most.
Our collection of fantasy exhibits is being inspected.
So it is kind of pressuring me to be like, all right, let's aggressively expand. Oh, also the pigs are apparently a criminal gang in the game, that they'll steal your money and all that stuff. Gotta spend money to make money. Ice Fortress. This frozen fortification averts a avian attack with physical objects. Find other pieces to complete this exhibit. Okay. Why don't you click done buttons? What?
Team, leaving for thorough
Why don't I click
investigation.
done buttons?
They may be
Oh,
some
these?
trouble.
These I haven't finished the whole thing, so this doesn't do anything. So like that's just there. This one I can make go away. But that's a fresh new one. But all the other ones I have incomplete tasks, so I can't make them go away. Alright. So it seems like I'm slowly making the pig exhibits. And we get a little bit more money happening, I'll start getting ones going after
Interested guests are reminded that not
the dredge stuff more. Because we kept getting all the perfectly normal dredge fish. We just need to get the cursed dredge fish. A classic red bird with natural leadership qualities and a disdain for pigs. Free bird, a free-roaming creature that doesn't need an enclosure. Guests gain buzz and knowledge when seeing a free bird. Criminal co-op. Assists security guards in stopping criminals in their tracks. Unique. There's no one like them. Alright, so place exhibit.
worry about museum surveillance. There's a camera in here, and you don't hear me complaining.
The crossovers are such a good idea. Yeah, no, it's like one, I agree, but it's also like some of the crossovers are like, okay, vampire survivors. You're like, what? Oh, Angry Birds, and you're kind of going, huh? But go ahead and keep that going there. And what do I need to get you? I would need to run a tour containing an Ice Fortress exhibit rating through... Okay, basically, I need to get this built up enough. Because that's the Ice Fortress. So I just need to basically get those things assembled enough. It'll be curious when we actually have a criminal come in, how that works. Alright.
Sir Nigel Bickleworth on 2 Point Radio. Yes, thank you, thank you. That's quite enough of that. Come in, sit down, and let's skip the pleasantries. After all, you're here for me, and you are here to hear. No one said anything about pleasant. Wait. Can you hear that? It's me.
It also is nice that they've added more to the radio programs as well. So just like some more lines and all that kind of stuff. Because it's got a lot of fun stuff, but there's definitely a point where you've heard them a number of times. You're like, alright. Alright, so we got the next set of the wooden attachments. Cool. Okay, and we can go here. SBU, or they go MIA. What a narcissist. Yep, that is the joke.
Stopped them.
Um.
Obviously, collectors are reminded that that they don't have to buy something, but you probably will.
I still think my favorite ones is like the one lady who she's trying to run like an actual, you know, not education, but like an actual like interesting, you know, learning about facts and history or whatever. And to be like, you know, ask me your questions. And they'll be like, why is a pyramid not round? You could roll it then. And just, you can kind of have her, like, listen to her, like, dying a little inside each time she has to answer these absolutely horrendously bad questions. Or, like, that she'll be reporting on some story, and the story is just utterly inane. I think that's my favorite repeat, like, skit, where they have just many variations of it.
Museum security are operating in this area. It's a bit tense, isn't it?
Yeah, it's complaining because I have too many cameras. I also am choosing to not care. Alright. Like another piece of the ice fortress. So if we get one more piece of the ice fortress, then we should unlock another area to potentially get some more stuff. Gotta wait for the money. But then that can get those up to pristine. And then eventually, once we get, you know, we get like the point where I need to expand, I'll expand. We'll buy the whole area. I'll make a door, and I'll put like one of these areas stuff in there to theme that room.
Not much, but still.
Versus just shoving everything in the corner because, you know, it's got to go somewhere, I guess. All right. So it should be our two people going out there. One of the things I know they mentioned, I haven't looked into how it goes, but the fact that they have a setting now where you can be like, hey, just keep repeating this one expedition. I appreciate that they're adding stuff like that, or queuing up multiple expeditions and all that, because that was definitely one of the things when the game first came out and you're trying to like 100% it, and you're just like, keep doing it, I just need the rare one pristine. If you could just keep going there, yep, just keep on going back. Or like when you're trying to, you know, you're missing a skill, so you need someone to level up, so you're like, hey, just keep going for the XP, man. Just keep on going. That the clicking us thing, especially when you get like the 3 helipads, you're just like, oh my god, I cannot click these helipads fast enough. Alright, so what are we getting? Are we gonna get the ice one? Alright.
The expedition team are back from the Digiverse. Shame. It's an appropriate place for zeros and ones.
Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick save here. And the reason for that, though, is my day started very, very early. I started I did the stream with SCS Software on their channel like 7 hours before I normally stream, so I'm very sleep deprived. So it's going to be that time to be wrapping up, and I put off the ad break for as long as I can, but it's going to happen in 7 minutes whether I like it or not. So I'm going to be wrapping up here. I don't know if there'll be a stream tomorrow or not. That depends on what's going on with Tomb. There will definitely be a stream on Saturday. I'm not sure what we're going to be playing. I might do more 2-point. We might do something else. We'll kind of figure it out, because we did just finish our Factorio run and all that kind of good stuff. So currently, as far as the long-term games we've got going to the channel, we finished the Tileman Challenge and Stardew. We finished Factorio. We finished Timberborn. We got all those things done. So it is definitely time to find something new to put on the channel, and I just got to figure out what that is. But with all that said, thank you so much for tuning in. and I do hope you enjoyed the stream. If you're not already following the channel, don't forget to drop that follow. That way you can find your way back here in the future. If you're over on the YouTube side, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, because the stream will be abruptly ending for you because I don't have a host ready for there, but thank you for tuning in. And for everyone over here on Twitch, I'm going to go ahead and put up my ending stream screen and finding someone for us to drop a raid on. But thank you so much for everyone